go. Another episode for Just a Bet Outside. What a wild NFL Week 17. And we are here to recap it, go over some best bets, and we are going to preview that freaking awesome game between the Bills and Bengals on Monday Night Football. We're going to have a lot of fun. Before we dive in, be sure to hit like and subscribe on this video. We appreciate everybody. We just went over the 300 mark for subscribers. Thank you guys so much. That is so awesome. We appreciate all of it between YouTube and TikTok and everything going on. Couldn't do this without you guys. So thank you very much. Um, I had a, how do I say it, Ryan? I had a bad week of betting, but not really. I just had a bad week on my 3 bets on this podcast. But the player props and primetime games definitely helped us out this week because we went, I think it was like 4-1 on those together. So we had a losing week for only like the 3rd time, I think, this year, but it was a small losing week. So we can handle it. Football is getting weird at the end of the season. I wanted to make sure I warned you guys to be careful because some teams are in it, some are choking, some don't care, all that kind of stuff. So just be prepared. But yeah, Ryan, now are we ready to go today? What's going on?
We're ready to go. Just, got done watching the Ravens and Steelers. What a wild finish that was, kind of like a whole bunch of other games. So let's get it going.
Yep. And I had my nephew over. Shout out to him. He was watching the Seahawks with me today. That was awesome. And I introduced him to NFL Red Zone. I don't think his life is ever going to be the same. Yeah. I think in his words, he says, "This is amazing. My mom usually makes me do dishes during commercials." And I said,
See,
"Yeah, we don't do commercials here, sir. We don't do commercials."
I'm still not used to Red Zone. This is my first real season of it. I stay up to date on all the other games other ways throughout the years before this, but I don't know. Red Zone still just doesn't get me in the groove of the game too much. It's too much all over the place for me.
I mean, what else are you going to do? Do you want 15 TVs up or do you just want Red Zone on one
I,
TV?
I think 15 TVs would be better for me, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, shout out to him. My brother and sister in law, I guess, need to buy him Red Zone now. Sorry, my bad. Anyways, let's dive in. There's some. We're gonna start out with a few headlines and things that happened in Week 17. Before we start talking about that wild playoff picture in the AFC and NFC, so we're gonna go over, let you guys know who clinched, who didn't clinch, where everyone stands going into the last week. So, first, I just want to mention a couple records that were set this weekend. Mike Evans became the first player in NFL history to begin a career with 9 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. That is pretty freaking impressive. Receiving yards, obviously, as a receiver. He had a huge game today, and it was pretty much Mike Evans go. Brady hits him on the money, and it's a touchdown. I mean, he was their offense. He was huge. What do you think? I mean, to me, he's underrated. He always has been. People think he's good, but he just kind of does it under the radar, I think.
Yeah, I think he's always just right above that 1,000 mark for the yards for the season. I don't think he blows it out of the top, so that's part of the reason. Plus, he's been in Tampa for so many years. I mean, what was Tampa
Yeah.
before Brady got there? That was part of the other issue, but no, super consistent, whether it's been with Brady or Winston before him, and he just puts up the numbers. He knows big body receiver and just makes plays, make big plays, game after game. Stud.
Yep. He likes to go deep, that's for sure. He's not a possession receiver underneath. They got Godwin for that. So that was impressive. Also, Devontae Adams passed Tim Brown, I believe it was, for the most
Hmm.
receiving yards in one season in Raiders history. That's pretty cool,
Yeah.
considering he's been there one season. Not bad. Now,
Yeah,
do you
he got
see all
that
these
pretty quick.
receiver records? Do you see all these receiver records as like, yeah, whatever, like it's a passing league now, or like, how do you still think it's super impressive?
It's impressive, but you're right. It's becoming a passing league, so some of these passing totals, passing yards, things like that are getting broken a little bit easier nowadays. I still think it's super impressive when an individual does it rather than like a quarterback throwing for 4,500 yards or like 5,000. But when like an individual gets over a certain mark, it can be. The extra game helps, so
Hmm.
there is
Yeah.
that too. But they both hit it before the extra game, so good job them.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But if you need that last game, it is kind of, yeah, not really fair, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, next little thing. I'm sorry to say this, but Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are coming. It's the end of the year. It's December, January football. Tom Brady just clinched the division today by beating the Panthers in a wild comeback. I think he had like 430 yards
Hmm.
passing. 3 TDs, no interceptions. I mean, it's just 34-45 is what I had him at. So, I mean, if you want to say he's lost it, today wasn't it the day you saw that because he dominated. The Packers dominated the fraudulent Vikings today, 41-17. In that game, Aaron Rodgers only threw for 159. I mean, he had 15 completions. They didn't throw the ball out, so that wasn't just because Rodgers dominated. They
Mhm.
ran the ball. They ran for 5.8 yards a carry in that game. I mean, they just dominated. Their running game is really getting going right now. Their defense is playing pretty well. You know, these are the Packers still are not in yet, so they're not dangerous until they get in. But you know, I don't know. I don't want to see Rodgers and Brady in, but it looks like we may do that again.
We
To be
might
honest.
see that again. Yes, you are right. It's leaning that way, I would think.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just want to be clear. The Bucks still suck. Okay, the Bucks suck, and they're not going to go anywhere. Um, they're going to go to the playoffs, and that's it. They're going to put up a fight because Tom Brady in his fourth quarter, he's always going to do that. And there's a slight chance they win one game because it's against the Cowboys, who are always fraudulent in January. So it's just we'll see how that goes. But I just want to point that out that two guys left for dead, two teams left for dead, and they are right there at the end of it. So that's the difference between Hall of Famers and non Hall of Famers, right there.
Rodgers, I couldn't believe it. Like we talked about it, like I want to say 3 weeks ago, just barely. Like I don't want to see it. Like you made a bet on it, on him, on them winning. I'm like, please no. I don't want to. I don't want to think about it. Him in the playoffs, and here
Yep,
he is, one game away. Lambeau winning, you're in. Oh my
it's here.
gosh, are you kidding me? Didn't want it.
It's here. I know. It's here. Last little headline before we do go over the best bets recap page, which we have not done yet. So we're gonna talk about three quarterbacks that are failing, and I'm gonna see if you think they have any hope in their careers still, Ryan. But my little headline right here is Carson Wentz, Baker Mayfield, and Zach Wilson. They are going to be backups at best in this league. They're done. Their starting days after this season are done unless it's because of injury or some terrible team just needs desperate help, like Baker Mayfield's helping the Rams right now. Other than that, these guys, no NFL team wants to have these guys. First of all, nobody really likes Carson Wentz in the locker room. Baker Mayfield brings his own drama. I don't know if his teammates like him or not. They might like him, and just the media and other people don't. And then Zach Wilson, nobody likes. I mean, you know, protect your moms and everybody. Like nobody likes this guy, Zach Wilson. Am I wrong here, or do some of these guys? I know Zach's really young. Do some of these guys have a chance still in this league? Because I don't think so.
Zach's Zach's really young. I don't think he has a chance. He hasn't shown much like at all ever, and he came from a small school in college, COVID, all that stuff. So I don't see Zach Wilson actually. He probably gets another chance in like a training camp to try and battle for number one spot, but I don't see it happening. Carson Wentz, no, his like I was saying last during the previews, his ceiling is too high, but his floor is just way, way too low. Like he makes just too many errors, and you can't do that in football games. Like you could be a game manager and get to the playoffs and get hot and win a Super Bowl type of thing, but you can't be out there gunslinging it and be terrible. Like that just doesn't happen. The one that I do think that could maybe get a starting position is Baker Mayfield. I don't know why. Just kind of the stuff he's done with the Rams. I, and he didn't have much time. He got in there. He's played hard. They've looked better. They've been alive in some games. Won a game that he put up 50 in. Not just him, obviously. So I do think it's Baker that gets a chance to start again. I don't think it'd be right away. I think he has to either prove it as a backup, prove it in training camp, prove it to his locker room, and then he can get a chance to start again. The other two, no, I think they're backups. They're done.
Are you done?
Is that because you want to talk about Baker being done?
Sucks,
No way.
sucks, Ryan. Don't say he's been dominating. They had one game
No.
against the Broncos team that completely gave up and they had to fire their coach. Okay. Other than that, he scored 10 today. That offense scored 10 against the Chargers. And listen, I'm not even basing it off this year because it's not fair. It's a new team. He doesn't have Cooper Cup. He doesn't have anybody. So I'm not even going to base it off this year. Base it off like the last 4 years. The guy hasn't had like 3 games in a row where you're like, here he comes. You know what I mean? Like he just sucks. He had the best running game in the NFL for a while and couldn't do crap with it. Crap. Like at all. It's mind-boggling to me. And by the way, also, Carson Wentz ceiling being high, I'm not so sure he has a high ceiling.
You could be
I
right
think
there.
it's a
Yes.
low ceiling and a low floor.
You could be right. Yes.
I think it's both low. I
Yeah.
have not seen it from him in a long time. He got benched early in this year, and then all of a sudden the commander said, "Oh, After 4.5 years in the NFL or whatever it is, I think he's gotten better. Let's put him out there. Boom, 3 picks, lost, season over. What are you thinking? Just stick with Heineke. I'm not saying he's a stud, but if you're going to go down with the quarterback that's been playing for the last couple months
Hmm.
with this team and that the teammates actually like. The Commanders deserve to lose. That was an idiotic decision. I like Ron Rivera, but that was stupid.
Yeah.
Anyways, other than that, you're right about Zach Wilson. That's it. So you're 1 for 3, Ryan. Good job. That's failing, by the way, as you know.
Thanks.
But
Appreciate it.
all right, that's all the main headlines. There were some good games today. Some close ones, some not so close ones. But before we dive into the NFC playoff picture, let's go over that best bets recap that we had. I don't want to. Look at that big X. After a
Ouch.
while, when you carry the team, you just sometimes need to step back and say, "I need some help." And it was just a weird weekend for me to lose all three on the podcast when I've been just on a roll lately, and us to still just be down 1.7 units on the weekend. Me and Ryan are going to take that. So Ryan had his 2 losses. He went for 2 upsets, and the Panthers were up 11 in the fourth, right?
Yep. Yep.
11 points in the fourth quarter and couldn't pull it out. So that would have been a huge 2-1 and good plus money win there, but he didn't quite get it. He got his Lions -6 pretty easily. I think Fields being hurt helped, but Lions look good on offense, that's for sure. Yeah, mine was ugly. I don't know why. I forgot the Texans are tanking and actually don't want to win anymore. They got their win last week just to show they care, and now they're playing for a quarterback. That's my fault. I can't be the only one that thought the Eagles would win that game. All I needed to do was win and beat the Saints by 1, and they lost at home. Unbelievable. We'll get into that a little bit. Steelers +8.5. I mean, that won, but that didn't matter at that point because that was a losing bet. Under 41. Tom Brady ruined 2 of our bets in that fourth quarter. So thank you, Tom. If you watched our player props video on Saturday morning that I release every Saturday, we went 2-1. Kenneth Walker over 7. What do we have? 18.5 rushing attempts.
Yep. I got 18 and a half.
He had
Yep.
like he had like 20 something rushing attempts, 22, something like that. And then we had the other one was Rashid Shaheed. He got over that in the first or second quarter. I mean, that was easy. That is a fast receiver who's been looking pretty good lately. So, and then the loss was Chuba Hubbard. He barely got the ball. The running back in front of him, Dante Foreman, he was averaging like 2 yards a carry, and they kept handing it to him, and he kept running into a wall. They needed something different, and they never did. So thank you, Carolina Panthers, for being idiots. Primetime games. There we go. Dak Prescott on Thursday. We hit it, and we just hit the Sunday night bet of the Steelers +8.5 and the under. That was a nice win. So 4-1 on the bottom part of the page, and 1-5 on the top makes for a nice 5-6 week. Not nice, by the way. I'm not happy with it. I'm not satisfied with it. Down 1.7 units. We are 88-79 on the season, plus 14.01. Good season, but I wanted to get to 20, and we got 1 week left to do it before the playoffs. Or are we going to count the playoffs, Ryan, to get to 20? Or are we just doing
I
season?
think we have to do a different counter for the playoffs. I don't think we can
Okay.
count it the same.
So we got to win 6 units this week. Can we do it?
We got to figure it out. We got to dig deep and find something good and get a big hit.
Should we just do one bet plus 600? Try to win 6 units? I think that.
I don't think that's the way to do it.
Let's get there. Anyways, that's where we're at. That's what happened this week. Some of our losses were at least really easy losses. Does that help? Like Texans getting
The
absolutely demolished. that
I
was
don't
that
know.
was
The
interesting.
first Panthers one, it was a morning game, and it just put me in a bad mood the whole way. Up 11 in the fourth quarter. I was like, okay, Brady's done it twice where he hit Evans on a go route. He's not doing it again. They figured it out. Just don't let Evans run past you. Nope, did it again in the fourth quarter. I was like, come on, 3 times Panthers. I was figuring that was going to hit the under, and it was
Mm-hmm.
going to hit Chuba Hubbard. He was going to get some carries in the fourth quarter because they're up 11. The Panthers weren't going to do anything when they're down 11. No,
Yep.
wasn't the case. I was dead wrong. Ended up losing. I was so pissed. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that sucks. I think J.C. Horn was out for the Panthers, their number one corner today, right?
Yeah,
But like put a safety over the top. You cannot get beat that way again. Like he's a stud. He's already beat you that way. You can't let that happen again. I
wasn't
don't
even a
get it.
double move. It was just go. Just gonna run past you. And he was like flat footed. I don't get it. Doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
I mean, make them just hit Godwin all day long, all the way down the field if you have to. Just you can't just get beat like that. But whatever. Anyways, that's our best bets. We're gonna do Monday Night Football preview later, but first let's dive in. Let's get a little NFC Playoff Picture. Let's pull that up after a wild Week 17. There we are. The Eagles holding down the one slot, and it is not pretty right now for Philly fans. We got the 49ers, who have moved ahead of the Vikings at the 2 seed now, at 12-4, with the Vikings pummeling at the hands of the Packers. And then the 4 seed, the Buccaneers, have officially clinched the division. They are official, and it's the 4 seed, and they are probably going to be playing the Cowboys, it looks like. Cowboys stay in that 5. The Giants, congratulations, Giant fans. I don't remember the last time you made the playoffs, but I think it's been a while. I want to say 2010 I saw. I could be wrong on that, so I apologize. No, it's not 2010. That's too far. I don't know. We'll look
I don't
into that.
remember.
You guys already know as Giant fans when it was. Congratulations. You went on a slump. Everybody just counted you out, including probably us. I think both of us did.
I know I did.
And
That's for sure.
and you kept playing well, and you improved, and you're 9-6. Good for you guys. Good for Daniel Jones. Good for Saquon. He's had a rough go of it with injuries and everything. And then the 7 seed, our Seattle Seahawks, with a nice victory over maybe the worst offense in the league right now in the New York Jets. They are bad. We are the 7 seed, but do not get this confused, Seahawk fans. We do not control our own destiny. Based on tiebreakers right now with conference record and everything else, the Packers actually control their own destiny because there's one more game next week. But for now, we are the 7 seed. The Lions are the 8, and the Packers are 9. That is all that is left. There are 3 teams, Lions, Packers, and Seahawks, fighting for one spot. It's freaking crazy. So let's go over this real quick, Ryan. Back to those 3 teams for one spot. Packers control their own destiny, right? They
Hmm.
play the Lions next week. That's the crazy part about this. The Packers play the Lions. So the loser of that is obviously done, right? So it's going to
Yep.
be a 2 team. It's just a matter of which 2 teams. If the Packers beat the Lions, the Seahawks are out. No matter what the Seahawks do next week against the Rams, they are out. The Packers will have the tiebreaker over the Seahawks due to conference record, correct?
Yes.
Am I right on that?
Yep.
So, yeah, it's weird stuff. It's all these tiebreakers that judge it, and I cannot believe Aaron Rodgers controls his own destiny over the Seahawks after where we were like 2 months ago. But it is what it is. So Seahawks, to get in, we need a win, and we need the Lions to beat the Packers. That's what has to happen. For the Lions to get in, they need to beat the Packers, and they need the Seahawks to lose to the Rams. So the Lions probably have the lowest possibility to make the playoffs. That game is in Green Bay, Lambeau Field. Do we think Aaron Rodgers is going to lose in Lambeau Field in the cold against Jared Goff to go to the playoffs? I do not.
I want to say
I don't even
yes.
know. I don't even know if they need Aaron Rodgers because the way the Lions defend the run, I think they're just going to run Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon down their throat, and then Aaron Rodgers will kick in if he needs to. I want to say they're going to lose. It would be so awesome if this young Seahawks team made the playoffs. It gets them experience for all those players. Man, Ryan, who's making it? Give me something positive for the Seahawks.
I don't think there is. I don't want to say it. Like I was saying 3 weeks ago, we were like, no way, the Packers are getting in.
Mhm.
Lambeau against the Lions, Jared Goff outside in the cold. I mean, this just fits perfectly for the Packers, and all they need to do is win and they're in. Like, they were 4-8. They were done. And Roger said it today after the game. He's like, it was one quarter, and we got some life, and we were alive. We got some help, and here we are. What can you ask for? You can't ask for a better position than Lambeau Week 18, ready to go against the Lions. Like, that's the best that
Freaking,
they can do, and they got it. I
freaking
can't believe it. Like, I don't see much hope for the Seahawks because of that. I see us beating the Rams, but man, the Lions do not play good outside, and that's brutal. It's
Yeah, if that game
disappointing.
was in Detroit, I would feel decent about it. Actually,
Yeah.
I would
Mm-hmm.
feel like, okay, let's beat the Rams. I think we got a good chance. I said to give me good news, and you gave me nothing. By the way, you gave me absolutely freaking zip zero nada. Um,
Okay. The Lions are a good
here's
team. If they get
no,
caught one time
I'm
outside,
giving you positive. No, no, nope. You're too late. You already dug a hole. I'm giving you positive. Even if we don't make the playoffs and we finish 9-8, what a hell of a season by the
mhm.
Seahawks team. I saw bets out there for them to be the worst team in the NFL this year. Yes, I saw that bet. People did that before the season. And we have a chance to go 9-8 with a winning record after you trade your franchise quarterback. You have Geno Smith, all these young pieces, 2 rookie left and right tackles. You have a rookie corner who's playing really well. Do we need more? Obviously. Are we going to have right now? I think it's the number 3 pick in the draft. Also, the third pick. If we have the third pick, that means we have the third pick in the second round next year. Also, so we have things that coming to us. We have money, so we can spend on some players. Things are looking up for the Seahawks. So if you're a Seahawks fan, we don't quite make it. Be excited because that was a hell of a season so far. So, thank you. That's how you be positive about your team. Okay. Anyways, enough of those 3 teams. The 1 seed. Eagles get the 1 seed with a win. Simple, easy. They just have to win. That has not been so easy for them lately, though. Are you worried about the Eagles right now? They play the Giants next week, so I don't know, and we don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to be back yet. But the Giants suck. No, listen to me. They don't suck.
I
They're
was gonna
going
say,
to suck because they're not going to play any starters.
there you go.
I mean, would you play the starters if you were them, or would you
I,
take this week off, or do you want to keep the momentum going?
I would play the starters at least until halftime and things like that. Barkley, depending on how he's feeling and things like that, I would maybe rest him.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but I- you know, I'd probably play Daniel Jones at least until halftime for sure. Maybe even into the third quarter. Don't want to get too rusty type of thing. But for somebody that takes a beating and a pounding that's having injuries or hurt a little bit,
Hmm.
get them some rest. I
Yeah,
would. Like, what's the
I
point?
agree. Yeah, definitely Saquon because the Giants, they don't have anywhere to move, guys. They are the
Mm-mm.
6 seed. They are locked in. The Bucks are the 4 seed. Those are 2 teams locked into their spots. For the most part, the Cowboys will be the 5, but they have a slight chance at the 1 seed still. So yeah, I would rest them, which is good news for the Eagles. I think they're going to finish with a win, but I'm a little worried about this Eagles team because they got bullied today. I mean, their offensive defensive lines just got bullied by the Saints, and the Saints played how the Eagles usually play. And so, Gardner Minshew is awful. I know that, but I just didn't see a lot from the rest of their team either to really be excited. Now, playoffs are a whole new thing. You get Jalen Hurts back, maybe they take off again, but you don't want to be playing like this at the end of the season, going to the playoffs. That's just my opinion. And I think losing their right tackle Lane Johnson is going to be brutal for them.
Mhm.
But yeah, Eagles get in with a win. 49ers get a 1 seed still if they win and the Eagles lose to the Giants. Could it happen? Yeah. I don't see the Eagles losing to a Giants team that doesn't care to win, but we'll see. And then the Cowboys can get a 1 seed with a win versus the Commanders next week. Eagles loss and a 49ers loss. Probably not happening. 49ers play the Cardinals, first of all. And the Eagles, like I said, play the Giants. So the Cowboys will probably have no chance. They're going to be the 5 seed, which means we're going to be pretty much locked into a Cowboys Tom Brady game. Hello, Skip Bayless. Holy
Yes,
cow!
for sure.
Yeah, that's quite the matchup. But if it stands like it does now, and by the way, the Vikings do not have a chance at the 1 seed because they lost to the Eagles, and there's all these other things. They have no chance. So as of right now, if it stays like this, we got Eagles with a bye, 49ers versus the Seahawks. Really, it's the Packers if they control their own destiny. But let's say 49ers Packers. That's an interesting matchup. I think the
Would that
49ers
be
will be good.
that would be 4 years in a row that the Packers would knock him out, or the Niners would knock him out if the Niners
You're
play
right.
the Packers,
You're right.
right?
That's quite the matchup. Yep, that's right. And Aaron Rodgers is from there and always wanted to play for the Niners, and they have just demolished him. You're right. And then we go Vikings Giants. That doesn't do anything for me. And then Buccaneers Cowboys, which just name wise and all that, that's pretty good. So that's where we're at. It's wild. Seahawks, Lions, Packers. What else can you ask for? You're in the hunt in Week 18, right? Seahawk fans.
Right.
Um, Unfortunately, I'm kind of rooting for the Lions, but not in this case anymore. They're dead to me. I need the Seahawks to make it. So,
Yeah, we were
all
on
right.
the Lions bandwagon, wanting them in, but now it's like, wait a second, we got a chance. We
Oh wait, actually, we are
so
rooting for the Lions. We need them to beat the
yeah,
Packers next week.
yeah, we're still
Yeah,
rooting them for them, but we're not rooting for them to get into the playoffs because
yeah,
if they win, that means we have a chance. So go
correct.
Lions and Hawks.
Huge Lion fans. Go Lions. I will. I will do something. I don't know. I wish I was rich. I will donate $1 million to your favorite charity in Detroit if you beat the Packers. That's not true. I don't have that much money. But anyways, that's the NFC. If you thought that was confusing at all, let's go to the AFC because holy crap. Hmm.
Good
That's right.
luck.
There's a so let's okay. Here we go. Deep breath. Chiefs are the 1 seed right now. Just so we're clear, the Bills control their own destiny and play on Monday Night Football. So if the Bills win, they are back to the 1. So we're just giving you very accurate based on when we did this podcast. Chiefs 1, Bills 2, Bengals 3. Huge game tomorrow, Bills and Bengals. Jaguars in the 4 spot. We're going to talk about that in a second. The Chargers have moved all the way up to the 5 spot with that Ravens loss tonight to the Steelers. The Ravens are now the 6th seed. Patriots are somehow alive at 8-8. The Miami freaking Dolphins have folded. I feel like they were in the 1 or 2 spot for quite a while, and now they are in the 8 spot in the hunt. And then those Steelers will not give up. 8-8 started out 2-6, have been 6-2 since then. I think they like TJ Watt back. What do you think? And
Oh
then the
yeah.
Titans 7 winner take all game next week. So we'll talk about that. But that's where that's at. Now let's go over this for a second. The Bills are the 1 seed if they win out. They beat the Bengals tomorrow or later today, whenever you're watching this podcast, on Monday Night Football. If they beat them and they beat the Patriots next week, they're the 1 seed. They control their own destiny. How important is that to Buffalo? Absolutely freaking humongous to me. You do not
Mm,
want to go to Kansas City again. You don't want to go to Cincinnati. You don't want to do any of that because we've seen what happens. You are desperate for this Super Bowl. You got to get out of the AFC and you got to do it through Buffalo. So that's huge for them. Bengals, now that the Ravens lost, they win the division if they beat the Bills on Monday Night Football. That's it. You beat the Bills and you win the division. So they started out 0-2 or 0-3. 0-2, right? Was it?
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
0 and 2 or yeah, and then like 1 and 2
They're
or 1 and 3 or something. Yeah.
12-1 since then, maybe. I mean, they are as good as it gets right now. So that's where we're at. Now let's dive into these teams that are in the hunt. Okay. Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, okay? Um, Patriots are in if they beat the Bills next week. They control their own destiny. They just have to win and they're in. Here's the problem. They play the Bills. So that's a problem.
Yep, that's a problem.
So let's just assume they don't win. Dolphins need to beat the Jets next week, which doesn't seem hard to do anymore because the Jets have gotten absolutely horrendous on offense. And then they have the Patriots lose to the Bills. I mean, in my opinion, the Dolphins still have a good shot. Divisional games are weird, but I
They
just
do.
think to beat the Jets and the Patriots lose to the Bills, Dolphins will be favored over the Jets, and the Bills will be favored over the Patriots. So if you just go by favorites, the Dolphins should be in. And then we go Steelers. Yeah, and then the Steelers are right behind the Dolphins, correct?
Yes.
The Steelers need the Patriots and the Dolphins to both lose,
Yes.
correct? Thank you. Thank you. And then the Titans are in the hunt. So next week, week 18, Jaguars Titans for the division. Winner take all. Loser go sit on the couch. That's exactly what's about to happen.
I think
It's
the
exciting to see that. Like I love week 18, winner take all, kind of like Lions almost next week. The only problem is that it's the Jaguars and Titans.
yeah.
Now I actually don't mind watching the Jaguars play. They're kind of exciting. Trevor Lawrence is playing well. They fly around. I mean, they're fun to watch. The Titans are not fun, and I hope the Jaguars win just for Trevor Lawrence's sake. And no one wants to see the Titans in the playoffs. Like that's just horrendous. You know what I mean?
I do
And
think the
if they win,
Jaguars can get in if the Patriots, Dolphins, and Steelers all lose too. I think the Jaguars somehow make the wild card then, and the Titans are in the division. I believe.
you might be correct on that because I did hear they had an outside shot at the wild card, but I wouldn't count on that. That's a lot
No.
of things to happen. Um,
Yeah.
so winning you're in if you're the Jags, and not only that, if they win next week, they host a playoff game in Jacksonville. Who would have thought that? It would have been Chargers at Jags. That's an interesting game. So if we stay here right now, we got um, Bills with a bye if they just went out, and then we got Chiefs and Patriots. That's interesting. And then we got Bengals hosting the Ravens, a divisional matchup, and the Jaguars hosting the Chargers. Huh, interesting. Well, actually, it could be Chiefs and Dolphins though, also in that first round matchup. So Tyreek Hill
Yep.
playing Kansas City, and he said Tua is the best quarterback he's ever played with. What an idiot! Um, Real quick, can I just tell you something about the Dolphins? This is their season. Ready? They won 3 in a row, lost 3 in a row, won 5 in a row, lost 5 in a row. That's their season.
Wow.
That's unbelievable. Win three, lose three, win five, lose five. That's exactly what happened, and now they're in week 18. They are as streaky as it gets. It's crazy. But did we all follow that?
I
Feel
think we
free to
did.
ask questions later. Yes, I think we did good,
Yeah, we did.
right?
I think
We
we
did
did
okay.
good. No, yeah, we nailed it.
Yeah, and I just think if you had to pick, who's a dangerous team in this AFC, Ryan?
Obviously the top three, but if you're thinking someone with an outside shot, I'd have to go with the Chargers. They're figuring it out late. Justin Herbert's a stud. Defense and everything's just kind of figuring it out. I mean, they haven't played a super hard schedule down the road, but I mean, you can only play who's ahead of you, and they've beat them all. And sometimes Chargers do Charger things and lose against those teams, and they haven't been. So I'd have to go with the
Mhm.
Chargers, I think,
I agree.
after the top
Well,
three.
I agree. We'll see how they do against better competition because we did talk about this before this video. Their last like 5, 6 games have not been against good teams at all.
Mm-mm.
Dolphins have been their best game, but they are beating teams by a lot more than they used to, and they used to just beat bad teams by a little bit. So I think their defense has played a lot better actually, and the offense is rolling now that they're all healthy with Keenan Allen,
Yeah,
Mike Williams. Mike Williams had a heck of a catch, by the way. It was impressive. So, um, I mean, other than that, I don't think the Ravens are dangerous. None of those in the hunt teams or the Patriots are dangerous. It's top heavy, it's
yeah,
top heavy. So
for sure.
yeah, that's where we're at. So that's the AFC playoff picture. I hope that cleared it up for you guys. Now it's time for the Monday Night Football preview. Not many Monday night games that we've been excited about
No.
until this one, honestly. It is the Bills and the Bengals. Bengals at home. They are 1 point underdogs, over under 49.5. Like I said, the Bengals win their division with a victory against the Bills. The Bills win out, and they are the 1 seed. Lots going on here. Weather report by Steven. 30% chance of rain. That could get worse later in the game. That's all I got for you. 10 to 20 mile an hour winds. So the rain could affect the game. Maybe not at the beginning, but towards the end, it could start coming down more. It affects passing a little bit more. We're talking about two top five offenses and two top 10 defenses. What do you think about this game, Ryan?
This is the one we've been waiting for primetime games. Like you were saying, that they haven't been too many good Thursday night games or Monday night games. It's kind of been yucky teams, yucky games, bad football for the most part. But no, this is it. This is a huge game. Can't wait. I'm most excited to see what the passing defenses do to both of these passing offenses, like especially the Bengals passing offense. Like I just can't wait. It's exciting. You got three great wide receivers for the Bengals going against a Bills defense that is very good. And who's going to win? I do lean the Bengals winning that matchup and then winning the game, but can't wait. That's going to be a fun one for sure.
Agreed. I mean, we're talking Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, three of the top 10 wide receivers in the league, probably. I
Yeah,
don't know if everyone agrees with that with T. Higgins. I think he is. He's an absolute stud. I mean, those are elite wide receivers, elite quarterbacks. I mean, this is as good as it gets right here. Here's what I'm curious about: the Bengals' defense has been underrated all season. The things they do and the adjustments they make at halftime, we've talked about it before. They are lights out defense in the second half. So if you're looking to live bet, that's how they've been so far. I mean, this is going to be interesting. If I had to go best bets, I'm not giving out any best bet yet. I'll probably give one out tomorrow, but here's just some that I'm looking at to give you an idea. One would be Gabe Davis over 45.5 receiving yards. You don't go many places and get the kind of stats that I'm about to give you right here. The Bengals are the eighth best defense at covering number one wide receivers. They are 31st in defending wide receiver number twos.
ouch. That's pretty bad.
Thoughts, Ryan? How good is that?
That's a stat for you. Follow
He's
that
giving
one.
up 54 yards a game to second number two wide receivers, and that's Gabe Davis. Over 45 and a half. They're going to focus on Stephon Diggs. By the way, Diggs hasn't got as many targets or catches in the last couple of weeks. Davis is starting to step up a little bit. I like Davis over 45 and a half receiving yards. Again, these are not official, so everyone take a deep breath. These are things I'm looking at, and I'll decide after I sleep on it tonight. Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's gone over this in 4 of the last 5. I mean, if he's going to have to keep up with the Bengals offense, I can't imagine him not passing for 2. I assume they're going to score at least 2 or 3, and they're not going to run the ball very well against the Bengals, probably in the red zone. So I like that. The problem with that is it's at like minus 150, which makes sense. So you might need to parlay that with some wild, crazy one just to take the juice down a little bit. But and then also maybe a teaser again. I just hit a teaser on Sunday Night Football. Maybe like a Bengals 6 point teaser would be Bengals +7. Eh, I'd rather if I can get 7.5, I'd like that because if you tie in a teaser, it's a loss. So Bengals plus 7.5, and maybe under 55.5 because these teams can hold the ball for a long time, and I don't know where I'm at, Ryan, with the total. What do you think with the total of 49.5? You know,
I, I'm thinking you need to sleep on it. That's what I'm
I
thinking. Like I
feel,
can see it. You're just like, "No,
it's
yeah,
just going crazy. My
you need
mind's
a
going
good night's
crazy. I
sleep."
got a lot of NBA going on for my people. My people get stressed out if they don't get NBA bets, so I got to focus on that. Giving out my free bets, by the way, and then yeah, and then I got this NFL, this great game. This is too good of a game not to bet. Like we gotta have something
Oh
good.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
those are kind of what I'm looking at. Just straight side bets. I feel like everybody and their mother's on the Bengals right now because they're
Feels
hot and
that
they're
way.
at home.
Yeah, 7 game winning
So I
streak.
probably,
They're
so I
on a
probably
roll.
lean Bill just because. No, my heart and instincts want to say Bengals too, just based on how they're playing and it's at home and all that. But I don't know.
Are you
I don't
saying
know,
Bills
man.
because you want them for your bet for the Super Bowl, and this is what you need for the Super Bowl? Like that's really what it's about. It's about
Well,
back when we did the previews, and you're all on the Bills. This is how you get there.
I don't. I don't need to explain why I like teams or who I want to pick. I don't need to explain why. Maybe I just think the Bills are going to win, right? Huh? I actually don't have any freaking clue who's going to win. So if you're expecting me to wake up tomorrow and get a pick from me that says Bengals +1 or Bills -1, you ain't getting it because I have no freaking clue. I can see both teams winning this game, and
Yeah,
when you see that, don't have to force a bet. Stay off of it. Go find
good
a
call.
player prop. Go play something else. You do not have to bet it just because you think, oh my gosh, this is such a good game. I have to guess who's going to win. Why? It doesn't make any sense. How about you just bet a player prop and enjoy the game because you're not stressed out about who's winning? Maybe you're just stressed out about Josh Allen throws a touchdown or Gabe Davis catches the ball. Other than that, that's it. That means if you bet Gabe Davis and the Bengals have the ball, sit back and relax. Gabe Davis is on the sideline. You don't need to worry about it.
I think
You need
I
to
think
just
some people
just
like that pressure and that stress of the game. Like it
no.
helps impact the game
I
for them.
I get it. I got a lot of stress with bets already. I need some games where I'm just relaxed a little bit. So all right, that's it. That's Monday Night Football preview. Going to be a hell of a game. I can't wait. Um, that's exciting. So we got our last and final regular season NFL best bets video later this week. We're going to record that on Thursday night. Um, I'm going to be careful, honestly. I just think it's just going to be a weird week. It's wacky. Lots of things are happening, and who's playing, who's not. When you are betting player props next week, I'll say it again next time. Be aware some lines might be different or weird. Some players need a certain amount of catches or carries or tackles or sacks or whatever it is to reach an incentive and get a bonus of 1 million for the next season and all that. So that kind of stuff already it's probably played into effect this week, but it might come into effect next week as well. So just something to keep in mind if you can find out. There'll be people writing about that and who needs what. But yeah, that's where we're at. We got a fun week 18 ahead of us, and then it is playoff time. It is January already. It is almost done, which is sad, but this is still pretty exciting. So, you got anything else there, Mr. Ryan?
Just super thankful for this journey we've been on, and I can't wait for the playoffs to start because man, it's been fun to live stream. I was talking to some people on the side, and they were asking for us to do it again. So just a bunch of support and tons of fun. So want to keep it going.
Yeah, and have we talked about a live stream during a playoff game, NFL
We
playoff game?
we have it on here, but I think that's something that we might need to try and figure out.
If you guys can comment, we don't get a lot of YouTube comments. I get a lot of TikTok comments, but if you guys want to comment below and let us know what you think of maybe watching a football game, along with us and just chatting back and forth and doing all that. If not, we're definitely gonna do another NBA game. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
We'll find a good matchup and do that. So yeah, we'll let you guys know when we do that again. And other than that, that's all we got. Appreciate everybody again for following in the sport. It's been so much fun. We love it, and we'll talk to you soon.